So, quick disclaimer, everything I'm gonna talk about now are merely rumors. I usually like to have, like hard cold facts when I talk to you, because otherwise I know that you're gonna go in comments and say, nah, you were wrong at 329 over there. It was Hammerfell and not Hammerfall, or the contrary. Can't remember. In this case, we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Live happening on Wednesday, April 2nd at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And why do we want to look at this? It's because we are gonna talk about the Switch 2. So I think it's coming, 1 or 2 weeks after the Nintendo Live, which happened on the Switch 1, which was interesting. But here, it's gonna be definitely all centered around the Switch 2. And here's the rumors and guesswork start. So, the general consensus, let's call it like this, seems to be that the Switch 2 will be released around June 2025, and it will cost between $399 and $499 US, which is pretty pricey, very pricey, I would say, even, because the Switch first was released at $299. So it's $100 more. That's quite a steep price, especially when, well, your PS5 still works very well and the PS6 might be just a couple of years away. So is it worth it? Yeah, I think so. So the Nintendo Switch 2 US, the dates I got would be pre-order start on April 9 in the US. And Best Buy Canada recently announced that the pre-order will start on April 2nd, which is the date of the Nintendo Direct. I'd like to think that's true. However, when I try to look for confirmation, because that's what you do when you hear rumor, you try to look on several websites to see if this rumor, is being repeated or something. I couldn't find anything. So the April 9th sounds far more credible than the April 2nd. But we'll see. Maybe Best Buy Canada is ahead of everyone. Who knows? So that's something that we will see. Also, the second thing that everybody's rumoring about, what is the real purpose of this mysterious C button? I don't know if you have seen, but on the right Joy-Con, you have a little square button just below the home button, which on previous image you had the C, and the latest one there's just nothing. It's just a black screen, but for all intended purposes we'll just call it the C button. And everybody's wondering what is new button about. So we had a Spanish leaker called Ecstasis, and he claims that this button can do two things, which would be very interesting for the first one. The second, I don't really care. But this button would be usable for connecting the device to your original Switch, which then will be able to function as a secondary controller in the same style as a Wii U. So basically, you would have your Switch 1 would be your pad, and that would be essentially a screen-equipped gamepad with a touchable screen. So that means that if you have this, you could emulate all the games which need a touchable screen. So Wii U, 3DS, DS, all of this, you could emulate all of these games, which would be very practical, right? Also, we know that Switch 2 is retro compatible with Switch 1. So although we don't know, and that's what basically we are waiting for, right? To see what are the launch game of the Switch 2, apart from Mario Kart, which I'm pretty sure will be out. But all the big names that you heard on the latest Nintendo Live for the Switch 1, they will be here at the start of Switch 2. So, we're talking about the Pokemon Legends, ZA, the new Tomodachi live game. I had another one, Metroid Prime 4 would be in there. So all of these are end of Switch 1, early Switch 2. So these ones have of course confirmed, and we'll see what other game we'll have on the Switch 2. I haven't seen many rumors about which game would come out, so for me it's a total mystery, apart from the Mario Kart again. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what they will come out with. So Adam, is there any game that you really want to see on the Switch 2 early launch, which means June? So we're talking 3 months, and there's homework with your neighbors again, right?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Metroid, so anytime there's a Metroid game, I'm super excited. Legend of Zelda is always a big one, but obviously I have not played Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, so, I'd be able to catch up on those. Honestly, I've always kind of thought Splatoon was kind of an interesting thing. I wouldn't mind seeing a new Splatoon or Super Smash. Super Smash is always a big one, but my only issue with Super Smash is that the current roster is so big that getting a new game would shrink it down dramatically. And I don't know, when you get a roster that big, it almost feels like a downgrade, no matter how much better a game is, or graphically, or quality of life stuff. When you have access to that many characters and then you lose probably over half the roster, it's gonna feel like a downgrade regardless. Like, there's just no way around it, especially when you have people that are like, oh, I've been maining Dark Samus for forever and now there's no Dark Samus. I would love to see maybe an updated version of Super Smash. I'm sorry, they're doing construction next door, so now my sound's all over the place as well. But I would love to see kind of maybe an updated version of the latest Super Smash, just to say like, okay, it's the same game. It's got all the same things. If you get the, kind of like with PlayStation where they do like an HD remake or was like something like that, just do an updated version of it, for Switch 2 version of it. That for me would be amazing.
And do you see that it's gonna be like a massive surprise? Like, hey, we didn't tell you, but there's this brand new Mario game coming out in 3 months with the Switch 2. Something that has never been teased or marketed or anything, just for the sake of this Nintendo Live and this announcement. Do you think they would do something like this?
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not a super huge fan of Mario. I was more of a Sonic the Hedgehog fan myself. So, if there is a new Mario, I personally probably wouldn't be picking it up. But it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, oh, hey, let's release this new Mario, because Mario is actually really good at kind of showcasing what these new Nintendo consoles can do. Either showing off the graphics of the N64 with Mario 64, or, having something to do with the new Switch modes or whatever. But because the Switch 2 is adding that mouse compatibility, a new Mario Paint would be amazing if they added like a new, because the original, if you remember, the old Mario Paint had you could plug a mouse into the Nintendo. If you could get a new Mario Paint on Switch 2 using the mouse function of the controller, that would just be phenomenal in my mind.
Sorry, I completely forgot, but I talked about the C button that there are, the Ecstasis, a Spanish streamer, was talking about, and he said there was two functions, and I completely forgot to talk about the second one. So, quick recap. So you talk about the second controller, etc., etc. The Switch. He says that apparently it would also have something to do with a chat feature, which name would be Campus. For whatever good it does you. I don't really. I'm not really interested in a chat feature because I don't like to chat with other people. But this button could also be related to that. End of the parenthesis. And to get you hyped, like, imagine, okay, you are not very much Mario, and well, even a new Sonic. Like in the 90s, that would have been great, but I don't feel like it would have a massive impact if they say, yeah, this brand new Sonic come with the Switch 2. Imagine like a new Zelda. A new Zelda completely unmarketed, no one talked about it, and come out in 3 to 4 months with the Switch 2. Do you think that's anywhere possible?
A new Zelda? I would not expect a new Zelda game. If it was, it would probably be a smaller one, similar to what we got with what was the recent one we got where you actually play as Zelda? Yeah, it would probably be something smaller like that, not a Breath of the Wild or Skyward Sword, or that size. It'd probably be something small, maybe like a remake of, I don't know, Seasons or Minish Cap or something like that.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice, but wasted on a launch of a new powerful console.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think you could keep a new Legend of Zelda under wraps for too long.
That'd be fun. I would love to have this, but yeah, okay, that's fine.